We got a heavyweight scrap from across the pond happening tomorrow. Kubrat Pulev versus Chisora. This is a rematch from a fight that happened in the past. So these guys have a history together. If we look at the betting odds, tell us that Pulev is the clear favorite here, minus 270. Chisora, a live dog at plus 220. The plus, remember, means underdog. Pulev by decision is the most likely scenario according to Vegas at plus 120. Pulev by stoppage is the second most likely scenario at plus 220. Chisora by stoppage is the third most likely, plus 420. And the least likely scenario is Chisora by decision. So what that tells me, if I'm reading between the lines, is Vegas is giving Chisora a puncher's chance. Chisora is a guy with decent punching power, 23 knockouts, I believe, in 32 fights. So he's got some pop. So Pulev, also being up there in age, much like Chisora, could possibly get chin checked by Chisora and knocked out. That's what Vegas is looking at here. But I like Pulev to win this fight, much like he won the first fight by decision. If you look at the stats here, Chisora is a guy 38 years old. Pulev's a guy up there in age. So they're both guys who are past it, right? Chisora, 6'1.5", 74 inches, 6'4.5", 80 inches for Pulev. Pulev's a guy who can use his height, use his reach against Chisora. Here's the thing with Chisora. If we look at trends, Chisora has only won 7 of his last 14 fights, so he's only won half of his last 14 fights. Now, to Chisora's credit, he fights good competition, so we got to give him that. He's not going to be blinded by the lights tomorrow. He's just not. He's been in there with guys. He's been in there with Pulev before. He's lost to Pulev before, and I expect him to lose to Pulev again, if I'm being quite honest. But he's only won half of his last 14 fights, so he's a guy on the back nine. He's a guy trending out. He's lost his last 3. He's lost 3 straight. Lost his last 3. But he's fought tough competition. When we look at Pulev, here's an interesting stat. He's won 9 out of his last 10, so that's a different trend, right? And he's fought top competition as well. He's only got 2 losses, Klitschko and Joshua. But here's the thing. It is an interesting stat. He hasn't fought a 12-rounder in 4 years. Hasn't fought a 12-rounder in 4 years. He's only fought 5 12-round fights in his last 10 fights. He's only fought 5 12-round fights since the Klitschko loss 10 fights ago. It's a weird stat. For a high-level guy, it's weird for a high-level guy to not have fought that many 12-rounders this late in his career, at this point in his career. But his losses, 29-2, 14 KOs, 2 KO losses, but his losses are to Klitschko and Joshua. There's just no shame in that, right? He's also a guy who's been in there with guys, but these are guys who have been career second-level guys at the weight. They've never been at that top of the weight class. Not in the Klitschko era, not since past Klitschko with guys like Joshua, Fury, Wilder. They've never been on that top level with those guys. They've always been on that second level. They've never been able to beat guys at that level. But they're still sticking around. They're still guys with names. They're still guys that people will turn up to see. And obviously, there's a market for this late. There's still a market for Pulev versus Chisora. But I just see it playing out like the first one played out. Pulev by decision over Chisora. I like that. God bless.